Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Norton Man Reviews, and we're staying in the 90s of the X-Men, particularly Wolverine. I did a couple issues of Wolverine during this time. I did one, number 90, with my brother Rob on his channel, where Wolverine fought Sabretooth, poked him in the brain with his claws. And then I did number 100, where Wolverine was captured by some acolytes of Apocalypse, and they were trying to give him his adamantium back, and it didn't work, and then he became a noseless fucking little shitball. But this is in between there, and I had a couple issues that I was looking at. Some good Adam Kubert art, and it kind of tells the story of what happened leading up to issue 100. And I was looking through this, and it's kind of interesting, but nothing really to get excited about. But I like this issue because Juggernaut was in it, and there's just some moments that really stood out to me in my youth. So, let's take a look at it, see what's going on. This was water damage. I talked about how a bunch of my comics got messed up in the Great Flood. This is kind of one of them. You can see the wrinkles and whatever. So, where are we? Scotland. And in a dungeon or jail, and these two assholes are looking at somebody. I might have said this is a barbaric way to treat a prisoner if I'd not seen what he done. So we're in Scotland. So that woman from your island, Dr. Moira McTaggart, she was not sad to turn him over to us. I apologize for that accent. So it's Cyber. I don't know a fucking thing about Cyber, except that he has like a boring fucking costume, and he has adamantium armor. He has these little claws, and like they can inject people with weird hallucinogenic stuff. I think I fought him in that Wolverine Adamantium's Rage on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, and the level was a weird psychedelic trip. Anyways, Cyber is captured, and then he's fucking yelling about nothing. No one does this to Cyber. If I see Wolverine that run, I'm going to do things to him. Whatever. And then, Mac, look, it kinda be. And somebody, I don't know what's going on here. Somebody's teleporting in. And it's these Dark Rider assholes. Again, if you watch my video on issue 100 of Wolverine, these are guys that were the Dark Riders for Apocalypse. Spine, Life Force, you're going to owe a big one to whatever. Just guys are going to bust him out. So they do, and Cyber gets free, and he's ready to fuck some shit up. Phantom 2040. Never watched that show. Was it any good? So these guys are taking Cyber and like, okay, you owe us. We've got plans for you. I don't think I'm going to get to the issues all leading up to issue 100, but now this is jogging my memory. In issue 100, they had a bunch of adamantium that they were plugging into Wolverine to give his adamantium back. It didn't work, but where they got that adamantium was from Cyber. There was a moment that they had these, like, I don't know, his flesh was eaten by like hundreds or thousands of like flesh-eating insects, and just ate all like the organic flesh and left the adamantium. So that's how they got that adamantium to give to Wolverine. So Cyber dies. I don't think he ever comes back in Marvel, because he's a fucking boring character as far as I know. All right. So meanwhile, you got Wolverine. He's stalking this deer, and it's in Salem Center. Adam Kubert, good stuff. I mean, he can draw animals really well. I'm sure he had reference, maybe not. I kind of like the lighting, the coloring here. It shows the sun kind of coming through. And Wolverine, you know, he's an animal. He's done this kind of hunting. He's licking his lips there. He's hungry. But suddenly the deer looks up, and Cannonball comes busting through, just creating all sorts of noise and whatever. And Wolverine's pissed here. I like that shot right there. Kind of looks like old school Jay Lee art. Maybe. Like, I've been stalking that Bambi all morning. Cannonball's like, sorry, sir, I just had a case of cabin fever, need to stretch out, stretch out his limbs, get in the wind. I could use a dose of that myself. Of course, I can't fly, but that don't mean I can't move out when I have a mind to, Wolverine says. So he's running. Wolverine's like, okay, I get it. As like Cannonball's zipping through, just like, he just wants to go fast. Wolverine's like, I hear you. I see it. I see you. So he's running back to the mansion. Storm's there watering her plants with computer-generated clouds here. And I guess Wolverine's been living in the woods, maybe. She's like, oh, are you coming back? He's like, nope, but I got a motorcycle, and you can't ride through the woods. He's like, yeah, I can. I'm Wolverine. I'm the best there is at what I do, and what I do best is swatting bugs with my face. So he's riding through. He's going up a hill, and that's kind of a yeehaw, and kind of a cool, like he goes off a ramp or a jump. And he lands next to Cannonball, catches up with him somehow. And he's like, you want to race? And he looks at him and smiles. He's like, you're on. And off they go. Just kind of cool moment. Wolverine sticking his ass up there. All right. Meanwhile, the Juggernaut. He is in the med lab of the X Mansion. He was seen, he was comatose, he was sleeping because he got his ass kicked. Let's see. I was in New Jersey where I landed after I got slugged up in Canada. He got punched by somebody, and we're led to, and when that happened, he couldn't remember who or what or how it happened, but he said the word onslaught. It's a ramp up to the whole onslaught storyline. And it's like, I don't want to be messing with him anytime soon, whoever it is. So he wakes up, he puts his boots on because he's got no boots. Those are his gross little toenails. Put the details of like a cracked toenail right there. That's funny. Puts his helmet on and he busts out because he got to get out of Dodge before Onslaught shows up. So Bishop's like, stand aside, I dealt with him before. And Juggernaut says, you got lucky. You're luckier that I don't have time or energy to mess with you guys. So he bursts through another wall and out, and he runs into the woods. How many times has Juggernaut like fucked up their walls of the X Mansion? And then, gosh, call the carpenter or whatever. Okay. So, we go into town, and we're at a bar. And Wolverine and Cannonball are here. And it's funny. It says, are you sure this guy is legal? He looked brand new to me. And Wolverine says, look, bub, I said he was with me. He beat me in a race. And nothing but a grown man can do that. And he deserves a few rounds for, bought for him when he wins. And then he's drunk talking here. She's supposed to be my girl, but what's she doing bringing saucers of warm milk to Sabretooth like he was some old darn kitten, huh? And he's old, too. Like, hey, he ain't that old. So he's talking about Boomer and being a friend to Sabretooth. We'll look in this issue really quick as they're doing stuff. Like, yeah. For whatever reason, she latched onto him. I think they're trying to do a Jubilee Wolverine kind of dynamic, because that's what he says. In all that time, did Jubilee ever take my hand like that? No. I kind of like that outfit of hers. So that's what Cannonball's upset with that. And this is all very interesting stuff in this issue that we won't really get into. Sorry if you wanted me to, but it's fine for an overall story, but for one issue looking review, it's kind of boring. So Juggernaut comes busting into the random coincidental tavern that they're at, because he wants to get a drink. Wolverine's like, who let that creep in here? I like all the detail. This girl hanging over this guy as he's taking a shot of pool with the cigarette. What do you call that? An ashtray. And Cannonball looks up. You see he's like got the stars around him because he's drunk. Huh? Juggernaut? Who's he think he is busted in here like he owns the place? And they got the font even changed a little bit to show that he's drunk. Like, don't get your dander up, Sam. Best wait for backup. Wolverine knows, like, you don't want to take on Juggernaut. Both of us don't want to. Wolverine's, like, not afraid of anybody, but he's fucking smart, too. Cannonball says here, not hardly, Mr. Logan. A guy I respect like you treats me like a man for the first time, and at the first sign of trouble, I turn tail and run. Wolverine says, let it go, kid. That's the beer talk. And I like this shot of Juggernaut just opening his mouth and just chugging down some beer. That's kind of funny. I like Adam Kubert's art. He can do some weird things like his brother Andy does. I like his art more. But I like this stuff. And then this next page is even funnier. This is fucking close-up of Juggernaut and Cannonball, like, blasting at him. He's like, that's Cannonball talking, so he's going to come and, like, fuck up Juggernaut. They fought before in those issues of X-Force crossover Spider-Man. My brother Rob on his channel did those comics, so you go check those out to see those reviews. But you see, like, all the detail in this, like his nose hair, that's all gross. Like in his teeth, there's shit. The bumps on his fucking tongue. It's just, I always thought this was funny. Just that I talk about pieces of art that you could own and have up on your wall. This would be interesting to have. All right, so Cannonball bounces right off him. He barely notices Juggernaut. He's like, what was that, a fly? Oh, it's a junior X-Mutant. I didn't recognize you without your ear flaps. Oh, yeah, that dumb fucking costume that he usually wears. You got any last words before I flatten you a red smear? He like has this like goofy look on his face. But then behind him, this is cool. Wolverine's like, you mess with him, you mess with me. I just, he's standing up on top here, all the detail of the shit behind the bar, the dishes and the bottles and the cleaning supplies. What does this say down here? Mecon Industrial? I have no idea. But that's just, again, art on your wall. That'd be cool. Like, Wolverine's not in his costume. I like the detail on his pants, and you're shading in the darkness of his leg to see that it goes back. Not a lot of detail on the black shirt, the tank top there. Good anatomy, cool use of the hat, cool metallic reflections for the helmets. Just good shit, man. They're looking at each other. He's like, you're not a match for me. Back off. It's like, I may not be, but there's some things you got to do, and I can tell by the look in your eye that this ain't something you want to do. His like hat is just pushing up against him. Got all this negative space up here. I guess they just didn't want to draw. And then he looks back. Juggernaut's kind of smiling, and Cannonball's just like puking up his fucking life. He's like, you're right, this is pointless. And he's like, I've seen what's coming for you, and it's not pretty. So he's like, you're right, I don't want to fight you right now. Cannonball says, he was scared. He couldn't wait to get out of here. And Wolverine's like, you're right, but it wasn't me that made him scared and run off. So then Storm shows up. I mean, that's a kind of a sexy shot. Weird color scheme. And she's like, what's going on here? What have you done, Wolverine? And it's like, it's not what it looks like. It was Juggernaut. He came in here. And Storm's kind of just mad at Wolverine, his behavior lately. And she's like, you're going to answer to me. And Cannonball's like, no, he was here. And then it goes to, oh God. So Juggernaut, he runs into these people. They showed up at this last issue. Whoever they are, I forget, her name is Zoe. I don't know who this guy is. They're representatives of this weird interdimensional agency. And they come in front of like Juggernaut and they shoot him with something and zaps him away. Dimensional phasing complete. Juggernaut will no longer be a problem. So they're following Juggernaut and they're like, I could have sworn he was talking with somebody, and they're like, I heard it. And one of the voices was familiar, but I can't place it, and he doesn't like the feeling. I got a feeling I won't like it when I do. End of the issue. Next issue, Generation X. I wonder if I have that issue somewhere. He goes to Generation X and does some lessons for those kids. So, fun issue. Just simple storyline, good art, cool stuff with Juggernaut, fun stuff with Wolverine and Cannonball. I like this issue, and I wanted to look at it. So, yeah, that's all I got. Thank you, everyone. Hit that like button. Would you just do it? Thanks. Bye.